Hi, Loomies. Hi, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well this Friday. My name is Jamie Butler. If you are new to the channel or just coming across this, I am a medium and a trance channeler. I have been doing this for over 30 years globally, and my passion is talking about it, normalizing it, and providing a space, a safe space to come to the table and ask questions and just talk, share, dive into it. This is no longer a mystery or something you have to talk about in the back dark rooms of life. So, as everybody is showing up, today I wanted to talk about having a Reiki session, like what happens during a healing session. I'm going to use the example of what I had the opportunity to be a part of today, which was a remote Reiki ancestral healing session. And I did it over on Learn It Live. That's where I hold my classes. And I see you guys. What's up, Buttercup? Not much, Katie. Just smiling because I actually feel good today. I'm coming off a very hard week of bit of a stomach issue, body turning inside out. So today I'm feeling more and more like myself, and went back to work and had a healing session, which helped me feel more in my body than ever before. So I want to open up to anybody that has questions about a healing session and especially about a remote session. Doesn't that kind of blow your mind a little bit? I remember hearing this for the first time when somebody says, "Don't worry, I don't have to be there with you. I'll just do it remotely. I'll just fix it for you." And I don't know if it was me not trusting the person or me not understanding time and space and that you can do that kind of stuff with energy, but I always thought that was just hocus pocus. And I didn't like to hear it. I was like, whatever, you're not going to do it. That's your way of blowing me off. And if you're not there doing it where I can see you, witness, then it's not happening. Like I was solely relying on, I have to see it to believe it. Do you know that's a really solid statement for us humans here? You have to see it to believe it. And Tammy, I'm so happy that you're here. You caught a live chat. Yay! Hi, Regina. I didn't look like I didn't feel good on Wednesday. I'm so good at that. Colleen has a joke with me that if I'm wearing a lot of makeup, it means I don't feel good. If I'm wearing less makeup, it's whatever. But yeah, I was breathing through it on Wednesday, and I had a few little things I did on Thursday, but I'm feeling back in my body now. So, energy, that whole thing, you have to see it to believe it, doesn't apply to energy. Energy is or does not adhere to our time space continuum as we like to believe it, or linear structure. That's me pretending I have a linear time frame in front of me. I guess, I don't know. But it doesn't adhere to that. So I could be here in Atlanta, Georgia, working through this video, this camera, this link. Like you are thinking of me right now. I am thinking of you right now. We have a connection. We have a connection that's as equally as solid as if you were sitting next to me and I was holding your hand. But if we're still thinking in our 3D human terms, this is not going to register for us. Like this is definitely more of a 5D, or some would say spiritual or enlightened or intuitive way of looking at it. And some might simply say scientific way of looking at it. Energy connects everything. So I could be here providing healing for you there. So going back to the beginning of this, talking about the remote versus in person, that is saying the same thing. But I will say there's something really powerful about being with the physical body that's doing the healing. I understand that. And so still I, as a human, want that kind of physical presence, want that physical touch, that 3D way of connecting, because that's the body that I'm living in, and manipulating and wanting to engage that way. Like, this is my tool, this is my instrument, this is the way it works. I know we are more than what this is, and I have had incredible, miraculous sessions that people have given remote healing to me. And thank you to all the Luminaires this week who have been giving me healing. I have felt it because I have had a good turnaround. So I'll pause there after my thank you and say hi to Donna. I was thinking about you earlier today. I might text you why too. Sheldon, hi. Hey, Kim. Oh, can you still sign up for the remote ancestral healing? You can. It's recorded over on Learn It Live. I think Colleen can post the link there. She posted the link. And yes, today's chat thread is subscribers only. So subscribe to the channel so that you can chat with us. It's just a little bit easier because I know those who have subscribed understand the lingo and the language and how deep we want to go with this, and we can have a good conversation. So for you who are watching, oh, like B, I was just about to ask this. B says, we specialize on distance Reiki. Absolutely love the results. Send such Reiki to people during deep COVID. Oh my God, absolutely. Go anywhere. Oh, we're reconnecting. Now are we reconnected? Remote Reiki is great for those who are introverts and don't want to go out or aren't comfortable with people. Great for people who have symptoms, diseases, illnesses, autoimmune compromised bodies. Like my illness this week, you did not want to be around me. And it's great for distance. How can we help those over, who are hurting emotionally, physically, mentally in Russia, Ukraine, neighboring countries? There's so much that we can do simply through thought form, emotion, and universal energy, which is Reiki. So I was going to ask, has anybody out there tried remote energy healing, and what did you think? Comparing it to in-person energy healing. It doesn't have to be Reiki specific. Just, I want to compare those two things first. What I find is so wonderful is over on my remote Reiki sessions, they're recorded. So if you had a wonderful session when we were live streaming, you can go back and rewatch it again and again and again. And it's part of your library. So if you needed a quick alignment or to get in touch with internal self a little bit deeper, you can just go straight back to the library and just grab it. So it's nice to have all of that recorded and saved for you. Colleen says it feels the same to me. Love it. I think that I enjoy being human so much that I like the five senses being engaged. And when I'm receiving healing from someone, I like to see what kind of textures do they have in their room? What kind of color? What does it smell like? Are they going to turn on music? Like, all of those things play a big part in how I open up and not hold tension, release my energy patterning, which is one thing I want to talk about right now. So it feels, I guess, more enjoyable to my human side as an experience in person. But I've had remote Reiki sessions where I have gotten up afterwards. I sit in the room by myself and my healer is in another part of the world and we're not even on the phone. We're not on Zoom. There's nothing. There's a time frame. Hey, from 1 to 2, I'm going to give you Reiki. Okay. And I'll go and sit down or lay down, and it feels like there are 1,000 loving hands on my physical body. Like I'm having physical sensations. I don't even know how else to say it. It's pretty incredible. And I get the same results as Colleen was saying. Oh, that's a great point. Colleen says, I like to be healed in my own space. That's true. I like being in my bed and doing that too. And then I'm also just a curious person. Do you feel it when I send it to you? Asked Regina. Yes, I do. Straight from Alabama. It's crazy. And everybody's energy that taps in feels different. My friend Genevieve sends energy to me. Genevieve Deely has a Reiki practice up in New Jersey, and her light feels like trickling rain and with a little bit of a buzz. And so I can always tell, like, oh, that's Genevieve. And I can tell when my mom is sending me love, like that has a totally different feeling. You know, my mom doesn't call it Reiki or anything. She might call it prayer or that she's thinking about me, my mom Joyce. But I can feel that. And that's specifically like in my heart, like a little hug squeeze. So yes, it has a different imprint. It's pretty wild. Amora says, I think it's all about intention. As a former hands-on healer, I prefer being in person, but you and Darshana are both really good at distance healing. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, it took me a while to really get into the distance thing. As I mentioned before, I used to hear that and think hocus pocus, like there's no way. But then I would practice. This is just me. I come from, like, I have to challenge everything to see if it is real to me and my belief systems. So I would sit in the other room and have somebody sit in a different room, and I would give them Reiki one room apart and then be like, did you feel anything? Like, and I would ask them questions about it. And then I would get on the phone with them and say, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. Let me know what you're feeling. And then I would get somewhere else, and then I wouldn't tell them what I was doing and see what they were picking up on. I just needed that time to build it. Now, when I connect to it, it feels when I'm doing like today. Okay, today's session was ancestral Reiki healing. And I normally direct my energy, my intent, my healing, the Reiki universal, my symbols, everything that I'm using straight through the camera to everyone who is watching. So that means recorded or live, whenever. And today it felt as if each and every person that was in the healing session was on my lap. Like they were sitting on my lap facing the camera in front of me. And I could see their chakras, their heart chakra. I could see their head, shoulders, and I could work from behind them all the way through their energetic system. It was wild. So I was working on them here, which immediately it was going to them wherever they were. I had one body, but it was everybody's body. So something I learned today in Reiki healing sessions, if you're interested in learning Reiki or any healing modality, um, even massage. I did massage therapy for 11 years. And in those sessions, it is not just about you being the facilitator of the healing or the practitioner. And this is the steps you're going to do. And so this is your job. And that's what you do. Hello, you do it. Hands on Reiki on, hands off Reiki off. We're done. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye. It's not like that. When you, the facilitator or the practitioner, are in it, you get these downloads of information and you learn. It's like going to a virtual classroom every time you're holding a session. So it's never the same thing. It never gets old. You leave better than who you were or what you knew or what you felt when you got into it, whether it was 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 or an hour. Would Amor is asking, would you ever offer one-on-one Reiki sessions? Sounds like you do those closest to you, but I'm talking about me, hearts. I don't know if I would get back into the Reiki. I will sit on that because it does intrigue me. I miss my body work time. All those years being with physical bodies. But I'm so aligned into educating people more about the material that I'm really not doing the material one-on-one. So Katie P is sharing, my sweet, constant companion, Charlie, 11-year-old puppy, is in her final days here on Earth. And I've been showering her with Reiki, and I asked other healers to send love. She felt it immediately. No, Thank you for sharing that. Our animal companions, our plants. I have a rescue cat right now from New Mexico at my house. He's having a bit of a rough go at it. He's got some ear infections, mouth infections, but he's cleaned up. He used to be an outdoor cat. Now he's, in my bathroom. So I know that's not bringing him joy. And I went in 2 nights ago. We brought him home Sunday night. And I said, I'm going to give you some Reiki. Will you let me? And so I have to grab him and pull him out from where he's hiding. And I put him in my lap. And he hugged me as I gave him Reiki. Like he threw his arms around my shoulder and tucked his head in. And I'm giving him Reiki along his spine. And he started to purr. I wasn't even like petting and stuff like that. And since then, we're buds. And my husband mentioned it to it. He goes, Gray looks always so happy when you come into the room. Like he treats you differently. And I was like, no, he doesn't. He goes, oh, he does. Now I come to the room, he comes out and he greets me. And I'm like, you want some Reiki? And it's the Reiki that's bonded us. So I can't wait to give him another session this afternoon. Yeah, animals are incredible with it. My channeling was always strongest during massage, right? Says Amora. You learn so much in the process of doing. So what I learned today, I opened up the healing session. I paired it with some crystals. I used a Shiva lingam stone for the lower chakras, the solar, sacral, and root chakra. It's really Shiva lingam is made in the Nagania, am I going to say that right, river in India? And it's rolled in water, like it's all feminine energy. And we use it to kind of unplug the muck, the mud that's sitting at the base and the hips to pull out what was not needed anymore. So we could really get each person quite grounded. And the visual before this, we got into some breath work and spirit. When I do my Reiki sessions, I don't have it planned out in advance. And I listen to spirit, like, what, tell me what to do. And they were asking that everybody breathe in, not in through the nose or the mouth. Just notice how you breathe in and see if you can imagine the oxygen coming into the body and falling like snow down to your hip girdle, right down to the base of your hips. And so there was this image of falling snow, like oxygen, like falling snow. My dyslexia showing up, hitting the base of the hips, and then filling up, cooling off the body, like calming it down. And the snow was building up. So the oxygen levels were building up in the body. So there was already a focus that came down onto the hips. And then we opened it up with the Shiva Lingam stone and just kind of pulled out what was resting at the bottom and send it to the earth to recycle. So we got all that healing. And then we used, I regret putting the stones away. I was cleaning up. We used the Libyan glass, desert glass, which is made from a meteorite hitting the desert in Libya. We used Tektite from Tibetan and Vietnamese Tektite. And we also used Moldavite. So we had 3 meteorite infused stones and glass in the session. And I also used Ancestorial light, which it's an ancestral healing, right? Okay, so we had all this work. So we used the Shiva stone to open, and then immediately kind of got into the heart. We asked everybody to sit down and expose their heart. So there was a certain posture that spirit wanted, and shining their heart forward and imagining your parents in front of you, and then imagining each of your parents having their parents in front of them, and then having each of their parents in front of them, and vice versa. So you had this triangle of ancestors in front of you. And it was great because spirit included birth parents, adopted parents, step parents. It was those who raised you, because it's not just a blood related ancestral line, it's that who has infused their love and their energy within you. So we had this huge body of people in front of you. So we did some clearing and some healing. But the point I want to talk about, which I had not heard of this before, we are spirit-wise. Oh, and I have this question for you. Please hang on for this question. We are working. I'm going to tell you who we is, and I don't know who the we are, and I need you to help me figure it out. Okay. We're working on the heart chakra. So I have everybody's heart chakra in my hand. And the way that they explain is every hereditary thing, inherited, indoctrinated belief system, everything that comes from you, from the ancestors in front of you, are done with energy patterning. And they showed me this thin, flexible, it reminded me of a floppy disk, but clear. You can see right through it. Very, almost like firm liquid. I don't know, imagine it, firm liquid. And they brought it forward, and it was about this big, 3 by 3 or 3 by 4 inches, and they slid it into the heart chakra, and it was sharp, like it just moved through that energy. And in this film, this disc, was all the frequencies that were gifted to that person from the ancestral lineage. Everything, all the information. And it was buzzing. You could see on the film, the disc, that it was alive. Like it wasn't a stagnant piece of thing. There was vibration to it. And as they inserted it, we did some Reiki symbols onto the heart chakra, but then called forth to have the person initiate everything that they want to acknowledge and keep that's in alignment with their contract or agreement of why they incarnated into this life. And so they worked with that heart energy, the center of the energetic body of each of the people who were in the session, and got them to align to those frequencies. And it changed the disc. Like it corrected cellular programming. Lois, is that what it's called? Yeah, it rewrote the energy frequencies. It was really wild. I have not seen anything like that before. I've never thought in those terms. I haven't read anything about this kind of or type of healing. So it was really, really intriguing. So they restructured or rewrote the frequencies on that little disc. And then this release, they did a release of everything that's not serving the contract and agreement. So you didn't have to live out old traumas or wounds or live out old patterns of celebration or abandonment or anything of that nature from Ancestorial. Like you released it, and it looked like wet noodles, cooked noodles, like to a T. And I was pulling them out of the heart. I had the heart chakra, and I was pulling out these noodles, like spaghetti from all over. And then it got thinner, and it was like pulling out hair. So I was pulling out hair for a little while. And then I was pulling out this kind of wisps of smoke. You could see it, and you could wrap your fingers around it, but then it would just kind of disappear and evaporate as I pulled it away. So it got thick and really thin, and then it cleaned up. Then they turned, we're going to talk about them in a second. They turned the focus. Now the person who's receiving the healing is the leader of all the ancestors. They're now on top of the pyramid in a way. And they got to push out that film and teach everybody else what they're keeping, what's in alignment with them, to show whom they are and that they're no longer a carrier of, but they are in agreement with what they're doing. They're no longer the victim, they're conscious beings of light doing their thing in appreciation of them. It was really amazing. Then the last part, was holding the heart, just holding it. And I kept hearing in my head from these beings, From parent to child, I love you. From parent to child, I love you. I love you. I love you. And it was going from one great grandparents saying it to their great grandparents, to their great grandparents, to their grandparents, to their parents, to them. And it was like this ocean of love rolling in. And so it turned back into a give and receive, or it turned into a give and receive, rather than you take it because you're low man on the totem pole because we came before you, because time is linear, but it's not. So all of that happened. It was incredible. So Lois says, as our cells turn over or die, unless they rewrote the same patterns, repeat. Yeah, unless they wanted to repeat the same patterns, they could have, but it was a complete, what I understood, a complete purge and rewrite of the storylines of how they would engage. This is where sovereignty comes in, and we take choice based on creation of the body and timelines and beliefs. Yes. Yes. It was pretty wild. Yes, but the ancestors are us. We are recreating forwards and backwards. Yes, they did this at the end, this communication, because time is not linear. Okay, now let's talk about the they, please. So you multidimensional, beautiful starseed beings out there, help me. They are, and I've never seen them before, they're about 9 to 10 feet tall. They are a light gray, white, with a shimmer of baby pink. Like every now and then you'll catch like a shimmer of a pink, but you wouldn't bluntly look at this being and go, oh, you're pink. It just kind of happens, like an iridescent thing. You would probably look at them and go, oh, you're like a white color, a light white color. They're very geometric. Their shoulders are blunt, like straight lines, and it comes straight down. So they have these hard, like 1980s shoulder pads. Kink, kink. And so there's that. And their heads are very oval and very long. So not as proportioned as, I guess, as we think heads should be as humans. So it's a little bit more longer and oblong or oval. And their face it doesn't protrude, like there's not a, what do you call that, profile? It kind of sinks in. Kind of reminds me of sometimes like an owl, when the owl, like their eyes are scooped in. Their whole face was scooped in, but they did have eyes and somewhat of a nose. There was some long structure, like a, I want to say a fold. There was like a fold down the middle of this concave face. No hair, nothing flowy, nothing like that. And there was some vertical lines on the front, like how you would think maybe a jacket would come together and you would have a seam of where the jacket is folded. Regina, David Bowie. Oh my God. Oh, Lois, the architects. I don't know what the architects are or what they look like. That's interesting. And welcome, Lisa. Welcome to the Luminaire family. So not a tall white, Amoris is not a tall white. If you've seen them before, right? Not a tall white. Tall white has these big, dark, navy blue eyes, like, and arms, and they're not as geometric like that, hard edges. So Carol and the healing goes, you need to ask Maitland. So I was asking Maitland, and she was saying some name that begins with a P, like it wasn't Paradigm. They're not Pleiadians. I know how to identify them, but it was, oh my God, if somebody was there, can you remind me? It was a word I didn't know. Permidian. Per, per, it was something like that. Permidian. I was wondering if anybody has seen them, heard of them. Very interesting. Not super chatty. Very educational. Wanted to show me how. Wanted to show me that these floppy disks things exist, and they put them directly into the heart chakra. Never, ever, ever come across anything like this. Erin, hi from Gainesville, Florida. Hi, Florida. Sending you love. Let's see. You know them, Lois? Is this what they look like? It's really a blessing for me, says Tesla in 1972, to connect with your amazing energy today. I'm going through it and feel my blocked energy moving through me now. Thank you for the knowledge and your infectious laugh. Oh, you are so welcome. I'm very happy to have my laugh back today. I haven't laughed in several days. So, Colleen, yeah, Permidian. I don't know if that's how you spell it, she says, but that's what you said after the healing. Yeah, I meant to write that down to see if I could find anything on it. I tend to learn more, Katie says, on my claircognizance and clairsentience when identifying beings such as these. Yes. Bob, my mind is blown every day since I found you and Eric. Gosh, thanks, Bob. I appreciate that. Yeah, we really enjoy getting into those spaces that maybe aren't talked about so much and normalize this. It's okay. Yeah, I am back. Lois, it doesn't have to be floppy disks. It can be water you bathe in, however you perceive it comfortably. I agree. That's true. Yeah, I know that can be in total flux. They are potential and form and in a flux. God, it was really a trip. I appreciate the Friday Reiki healing so much. It puts me into this holy cow, I forget that anything is possible. And I think I just get into being human and forget about all the possibilities that are out there and different ways of doing this, seeing it, experiencing it. And how sad that my human side, my 3D body goes, let's do what's comfortable and just repeat, rinse. What is it? Soak, rinse, and spin, repeat. Like just do it again, do it again. Because it knows it. But when we're doing energy work, there's very little room to repeat in the same way. It's very difficult to repeat the same task again when you're doing energy and healing work. Extremely difficult because all the elements involved are different than 1 second ago, than a breath ago. So much has shifted and grown, manipulated, changed from one breath. So to think that we could just do another Reiki session, do it the same way you did before, no go. Have you ever, Amor is asking, have you ever seen beings from Water Planet Gallon? One of the families I've been a part of according to Grace, along with Octurians and Tall Whites. I don't think I have. Unless that beautiful lavender water dragon is from there. Katie says, although as you were describing them, I heard Venus, but that doesn't encompass their whole identity or origin. Wow, Katie. Let's keep that in mind. I hear yes. I missed the healing, but just got done performing a massage. Oh, Erin, does it feel wonderful? I love being in these care providing positions. It takes care of us at the same time. Well, I wanted to pop on and share the experience from the ancestral healing, share what I learned, which was the ability to rewrite the energy patterning um, on these liquid light discs. I don't know what to call them, floppy disks. The concept of even inserting that kind of energy into a chakra, I have never inserted anything into chakras. And it was cool also during the healing when we were holding the heart, they were asking that I slide in the crystal to be inside of the chakra. And I was like, huh, I've never done that either. So it's just great. 30 odd years of a profession, and it's still like, that's totally brand new. Never thought of that. Let's do it. Just listening to them. And of course, them was a brand new introduction. Maybe they will join us or come through one time when we're doing some multidimensional things. That's what I was wondering during that session with the water dragon. Being one of my favorite channelings ever, Amora. I bet that's where they come from, the same origin. I still think about that little water dragon. Not little, but KDP, thank you. Love the learning about these experiences. Thank you for letting me share them. Yes, Lois says, multidimensional is the norm now. It is. Well, we are multidimensional and becoming more multidimensional by the day, aren't we? Every breath. So much more is available to us. We are doing so much more energetically, and the frequency of the earth is increasing drastically. And we have all this new energy coming in from our universe. I mean, we are really at a point of peaking. Like, watch this the next few years. Till about 2023, 2024. Big peak. Big, like, enlightenment, spiritual revolution. I mean, we're in a revolution right now. So much of what we're doing and talking about, I don't know if I want to get into that conversation, but others try to dampen it. Many companies and structures are in place based on not empowering the individual. And here we are enjoying empowering each individual. So there is some healthy conflict right now on earth that's going to shake out. It's going to be interesting to see how this rolls. Yeah, Amora, it's so important to always be learning. I agree. Yeah, or something similar, right? It'll be evident and seen. Yes, it will. Keep taking care of yourself, Jamie. Thank you, Amora. I plan on it. And Regina says, it's a revolution now. It is. It is a revolution now. And we're a part of it. Let's just keep talking about it. Keep it in conversation. Okay, guys, take care of yourselves. Be well. Choose happiness in even the darkest of times, like even during a stomach flu. Even when I said to my spirit team, it would be okay if my body needed to die. I was like, I will be okay. Like, I chose to smile. Choose happiness. That frequency can change so much. I'm not saying ignore what's happening. That's not what I mean when I say choose happiness. I'm simply asking, try on choosing happiness and joy while being present where you are. That's what I'm asking. Have a beautiful weekend. Take care of yourselves. And remember, this is not woo woo, it's true, true. Bye, everybody.